So, if you guys remember, about midway through the 2023 season in the CFL, there was an odd incident at a Rough Rider game where a sheep actually got loose during a halftime show. Well, Mitch here was actually involved with the incident. Why don't you tell us a little bit of what happened?
Yeah, so it was a beautiful summer night in the heart of Regina, Mosaic Stadium. We were running a promotion because it was country night, and for country night, we decided it would be great entertainment to bring in a bunch of sheep and have kids all under 9, 10, and 11 years old to come and ride the sheep for some mutton busting. Well, when we were setting up the gates that go from the sideline to the sideline in the end zone to have the corrals set up for the mutton busting, one of our sheep got loose. And when the sheep got loose, my headset was on and I had my bosses in my ear saying, "You gotta go get that sheep, Mitch." Now, it's really funny because there's actually two Mitches on our crew. So we both were like, "Oh no." Like, which Mitch? And I was the one that was closest. So I just said, "I'm not too proud for anything this job might throw at me." And I went in pursuit of that sheep from the south end zone all the way up to the north end zone. And I chased that thing for 110 yards. And I remember getting to about midfield and just thinking to myself, man, why is this CFL field so long? 110 yards is so many yards. But either way, chased it down into the end zone. We got it corralled in the one end zone, and when I did that, I was able to chase it back out the other way. There were a couple of kind souls, actually, when you go and watch the tape, that helped me in pursuit somewhere around that north end zone. So yeah, I chased him back out, and we got the sheep back to the side of the field he needed to be on, and it was all good. But there have been a ton of laughs from coworkers, friends, family. This clip even made it on the top CFL plays of the year, the top 50 CFL plays of the year. I think play number 22 or something like that is just me chasing the sheep down the field. So, yeah, no, it was certainly quite the experience. There's nothing that you can't do. I mean, I didn't have that on my bingo card for the 2023 Rough Rider season, but they pulled the sheep out, and you got to do what you got to do sometimes.
I remember that night I worked pretty late and I didn't get home until about halfway through the Rider game, and I had a pretty rough day, and I just kind of flopped on the couch, took a deep breath, and then I looked up at the score. I don't even remember where it was. All I remember is it was the Riders and the Lions. I forget where it was. I think it was the Lions anyway. And I looked up, and I just see a sheep running across as they flash the score on the screen, and they say something to the effect of things that only happen in Saskatchewan. And I keep watching, smiling a little, and by God, wouldn't you know it, there was Mitch chasing the sheep, and I see the clip of him just kind of putting his hands on his hips and shaking his head, just like, and I'm just like, oh my God, that's Mitch. And I spent about the next 10 minutes laughing, and it was about the first time that day I had smiled, and it was, honest to God, exactly what I needed that day. So, even if you didn't know it, you really made my day that day, Mitch. So,
I'm under the impression that I made a lot of people's day that day. I know that I got a text from you. I got a text from many other people as well. My phone blew up. And it kind of started right after the game when people were watching the highlight clips, and I was in the highlight clips that night. People were like, hey, I think that's Mitch. And then just for the coming days, my phone just continuously started to blow up. Instagram, like Twitter, messaging, like all of it, man. It was ridiculous.
I still have a clip or two of that incident saved on my Twitter account because I just think it is legitimately one of the funniest things I've ever seen. I have like the posts bookmarked, and it's tremendous. If you
Yeah.
haven't seen it, you have to.
Yeah, you go check that out. Have a laugh at my expense. I believe the joke that I made at the end of it was my tryout for cornerback didn't go the way I wanted it to. But either way, it was a lot of fun and it was interesting. And I mean, hey, the world of sports is wild, and that's just another part of it, I guess.
I've seen animals get loose at sports games. Can't say I've seen a sheep loose at sports games until that day. So